most of them intersect. I would say like 95%, even more than that, percent of lines intersect. Where they intersect is the answer. Okay, so that's the solution. It's just like the coordinate. So -2, 2, it's like x is -2, y is 2. So nothing's different there. Parallel lines mean they never intersect. Okay, Rico, can you get that out here, please?
Yeah.
Okay, means they never intersect, so that means there's no solution because they're never intersecting. Infinite means it's the exact same line, so infinite solutions or like all real numbers, anything like that is fine. Okay, so basically what you do is you try to graph the lines. So you can put it in slope-intercept form. You could do graph by intercepts and just figure out where they intersect. Okay, so the first one's like the easiest kind because I don't know where these yellow dots come from, by the way. I tried to get rid of them, but don't know why. But anyway, you basically put them in slope-intercept form. It already is. So that's like the best kind. So for the first one, you just have to get like, okay, what's the y-intercept? You know, and then you look at the problem and you're like, oh, it's 0, 4. So then what you're going to do is you're going to graph 0, 4. So you graph the point. Okay. Then you figure out the slope. Then we figure out the slope, which is just the number in front of x. So 8/3. And then you might, as you start graphing this, being like, what's going on? I'm running out of... Okay, let's put the water bottles away. Put them under your desk. 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 Okay. So instead of going up 8, right, you can't go 8, right? So the way you're going to do this problem is you're going to go down and to the left. So when you're dealing with positive slope, change it into like negative over negative so you can help with the slope line, okay? So from 4, you're going to go down 8, okay, and then to the left 3. So down 8 and to the left 3. That's going to be your point, and then you connect them, okay? All right, then your another ordered pair, you're going to do the other line. So, Rico, you're going to not touch that anymore and get that out of your ear, please. So, your y-intercept is going to be, what would be my y-intercept on this one? Rico, what's your y-intercept on this one?
4.
0, -3. So you're going to graph that point, 0, -3. And then same thing with your slope. Figure out your second slope, which is the number in front of x, 1/3. So then from that point, you're going to go up 1 to the right 3. So up 1 to the right 3. Or same thing as the other way. You might have to go down and left. Okay, so down and left, that's where you hit that point. Graph the line, and then the answer is where they intersect. Okay, so where they intersect is -3, -4. So your x value is -3, your y value is -4. So like this class, we're doing lines. In other classes, the graphs are crazier. Figuring out when it's like the same speed, same height, that kind of stuff. But this is used in like a lot of physics stuff too. Okay, so that one's like the nicest one, okay? This one's like the worst kind because you have to like solve for y, okay? Or you could graph using intercepts. It's kind of up to you. So for this one, what you want to do for this first equation is you want to solve for y. So you're going to take -2y plus 8x equals 2, and you're going to solve for y. So we're going to subtract over the 8x, okay? Don't forget to keep the negative on the 2 because now what you're going to do is you're going to divide everything by -2. Okay, all the things by -2 so you get the right equation. So when you do -8 divided by -2, you get +4, okay? And then 2 divided by -2 is -1, so you'd write -1, and then you graph that line. So you would go down 1 for your y-intercept. And then for slope for this one, you could write that as maybe 4/1 might help, just so you know, like, you're going to go up 4 and to the right 1. So if you go out 4, right 1, that's your point. And just like the other one with positive slopes, the same thing, you can go down and left. Okay, so you're going to go down 4, left 1. So down 4, left 1, and then graph your line. Okay, I don't have a straight edge, so that looks kind of bad, but that's good. So that's your first line. And then now you're going to do the same thing with your second line. So for the second one, you could do intercepts. I don't know if that's easier. Maybe I'll show you both just so you can see that you can do both of them. But for this one, you're going to, you could solve for y. Okay, so you're going to add over the 3x. Okay, and then you're going to divide by 3. So everything by 3, everything by 3. And you would get x plus 2, because 3 divided by 3 is 1. And then you would graph this point. Okay, so you would graph your y-intercept is at 2. And then your slope. So for whatever reason, this gets kind of weird for people. This is like an invisible 1. So what I would do is just write it as like 1 over 1, just so you know like how to count the graph. So you could go up 1, right 1, and there you go. There's your answer. Up 1, right 1, or down and left. And then graph your line. So I didn't do, just like a side note here really quick. Say your slope, this is just like side note. Say your slope was negative 2/3. If you had negative 2/3, you could also think of it as positive 2 over negative 3. I didn't do an example like that on this page. So like if you did your slope and it was a negative number, put the negative either on the numerator and do the slope or the denominator and do the slope, and you'll still get the right answer. Right? Is there any questions where numbers came from or anything? Okay. Another things you can check is both of these slopes are positive. So both of these slopes are positive. So all of these lines should be increasing as we go. So that's how you can tell that you did it right as well. All right, 2 more and then we'll be done. So number 3, okay, is you're going to solve for y. So you're going to take negative 2x plus y equals 3. Then we get y equals 2x plus 3. Okay. So we're going to graph 0, 3. And then again with your slope. Okay. Okay. Can we stop?
That was not me.
Stop.
That was not me.
Okay. Can you put the, okay, can you put, I understand. Can you put that away?
Yeah.
Put it under your desk. Okay. Okay, so for this slope, if you're going to deal with the positive one, you're going to go up 2 to the right 1, okay, or down 2 to the left. Okay, so you're graphing those lines, down 2 to the left, down to the left, graph your line. Okay. Then for my other line, you're going to solve for y. Okay, so why don't you solve for the y and then graph it? There you go. So make sure that you are doing the algebra right for those. Nice. Okay, work on the problem.
I'm serious about this.
Okay, graph. Graph them. Okay, let's graph it. Really? Can you close that, please? Okay, graph it.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Like, you know how to do, like,
Yeah.
opposite parallel? Do I even have to graph it or no?
Nope. Nope. Oh, you guys are good. Yep. Yep. You're good. 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 You guys are all good. Wow. All right. So for this one, notice that they're exactly parallel. You can look at the lines too. Same slope, different y-intercept. Okay. So the answer for this would be no solution. Okay, because they never intersect. Okay. All right, last but not least, okay, is this last one. Okay. So I'll show you another way to graph these. If you want, you could graph it using intercepts. So like 2x minus 3y equals 6. Another way you could do it, remember we did this thing? You could do it this way. You don't have to solve for y every time. You could be like, oh, I could plug 0 in for x, 0 in for y, and get those points. So like, if I plug 0 in for x, I'll get -2. Here, if I plug 0 in for y, I'm going to get 3. So when I graph it, I go 0, -2, 3, 0, and then you can graph your line. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Or you could just solve for y, right? Because if you did solve for y, you know, you'd solve for y and it would be what, 2/3 x minus 2 if you solved it. Either one, doesn't matter. So the second one, you could also do intercepts if you want, or if you wanted to solve for y, it's the same thing. Just double, triple check, because usually what happens, or what I've seen, is people drop the negative on the 6. Okay, so you just want to be careful. And then what you're going to do is divide by -6 for all your values. And again, this might trick some people up, but it's negative divided by negative, so that's going to be positive. So we're going to get 2/3 x, and then 12 divided by -6 is -2. And here you go. Look, it's the legit exact same equation. If you were to graph it, it's right on top of each other. So that means that it's either, you could say all real solutions or infinite solutions. Okay, and that's all of it. So, okay.